Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion at the Notch. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am thrilled, absolutely elated to have this chat with you today on embracing your inner sorcerer. And before you hang up on me, or go ahead, certainly your choice. Sorcery, people often think of, witchcraft and hocus pocus and maybe even bad stuff. And maybe that's true for some people, but it's not true for this kid right here. Sorcery for me, and I love being the wizard of well-being at Champlain. Sorcery is also about, well, it's just enormous fun for one, but really it's being connected to the source that ties us all together, the universe, God, call it however you want to. But sorcery, S-O-U-R-C-E, right, is really about that connection. So I want to talk about intention because intention is so important. And as you know, after I do my gratitude journal, I have my hot tea. We talked about it. Literally less than 15 minutes, less than 10, probably about 10 or less actually. I set an intention, and I often wait till I'm in the Jeep, so I'm totally alone. I often say it out loud. I often say it up here in the woods. And so the sorcery thing with a capital S is very, very connected to intention. Or let's say it the other way around. Intention is very much connected to the source, because we often say, my intention today is to be as productive as possible. My intention today is to, whatever. My intention today is for this meeting I have at 2:00 to go as well as possible and having no conflict or whatever, right? Well, really, and that's good. The effort of that is good. The grit is good. We want the grit. What we just want to be sort of mindful of is that intention all by itself, just kind of declaring that, has an element of ego in it, like I'm going to make it happen. And granted, the grit and effort are good, although the intention part, in the powerful sense of it really happening, is really about the connection to source, God, universe, higher power, however you want to say. Because we talked about the alignment thing. When we are in alignment, when our personality, our signature strengths, our authentic purpose are in alignment with what the universe wants for us, that's when we set the world on fire. So it's good to have that intention, declare that intention, and then be mindful that that intention, the source of that intention, has a capital S, I guess is what I'm saying. It's interesting because Wayne Dyer talks about this, and he talks about something that I can completely relate to within my own context. And actually, he uses a writing example, which I can also relate to, where one of his books that was on the New York Times best-selling list, which mine was not, but it was still fun writing it. He talks, I think it was the Erroneous Zones, maybe it's all of them, I don't know, but how they wrote themselves, and it feels like he can't even take credit for it. Well, in my own context, the book wasn't nearly as exposed and big and huge like that, but when I wrote my first book, Striving for the Purple Heart, it was about, young mothers and really trying to do it all and, burning both ends of the candle and how rewarding and wonderful it was, but blah, 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 blah. So I literally wrote that book in a tree fort when my kids were, whoever was home at the time, were taking naps, like right outside their windows, and much like Wayne Dyer, with a notebook and a pen, actually, because I just wanted the old school feel of it. And then people, when it was published, people said lots of nice things about it. And I kept, in my head, but then I actually verbalized it. I didn't, like the book wrote itself, I didn't write it. And that is not, just like, it feels wild to compare myself to one of the greats here, but this is just the context. Again, the books weren't nearly on the same level. But the experience isn't different, because I felt like all I did was like, it came like right through here, and my wrist would get sore at times, just because it was just flowing. It really truly wrote itself. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. So when we set our intention in the morning, have that mindful awareness that it's about declaring something, willing something, and yet kind of surrendering that over to the source. Okay, because that connection thing is huge, and lots of people who have been in the flow like that, which is what we call that, the flow. That's the work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Cognitive flow is when we are in such a zone, like I was writing with that, and Wayne Dyer talks about with the writing, you lose all track of who you are, not like in a codependent way, in a good way, where you become one with the paper. I don't know how else to say it. Or you're one with the computer, writing, typing, and you lose track of time, and it's just wild. So when we think of just our intention for the day, even if we're not writing a book, we still want to think about being, sort of achieving that on some level. So, I've told you some of my intentions. Sometimes I say, especially if I got something going on that's a little prickly, trust in the process. Or it's not prickly, but maybe I've submitted something for an article, or who knows. Trust the process. Just try it, because it'll all, even if the article isn't accepted, then you got pointed in a new direction. If it is accepted, great, whatever. So my intention for the last 3 days has been the exact same, which is I'll say my intention is to bring success to each and everything I do on this day. Now, I don't use the word everything, because those polarized words I don't use very often. And that's why I do the clause of to the best of my ability, right? And so, because also Wayne Dyer's also talked about this, something I believe anyway, but he's just kind of reinforcing it, is when we have that attitude of bring success into everything we do to the best of our ability, it means everything. It means, I think we talked about the other day, when you make that hot dog, when you scrub the bathroom, when you change a diaper, when you're fortunate enough to get a couple hours to paint on that canvas, when you walk the dog, when you have a conversation with your partner, be fully present for, especially if it involves another human being, but in general, even the bathroom. If you're going to clean the bathroom, be in the whole, meditative thing with it. If you're in a bath, bring success to that bath. Totally. And so this is kind of what we're talking about with intention. They go together, because when we have the awareness that it's a combination of what our heart is pulling us towards, right, in combination with the alignment with the universal intention, that's when we end up in the flow zone. And that's when we are in this almost like omnipotent place to bring success to whatever it is we do. Okay, so I say embrace your inner sorcerer. Giovanni's got the mindfulness thing right down. He's totally in alignment, right? That is an aligned golden retriever right there. Okay, so intention. Set an intention every single day with the awareness that you're aligned with the force that runs through us all. It's not like the source is out there in the trees. I mean, it's out there in the trees too, but it's also running through my black t-shirt right now, like all over the place, and running through you, and running through G, and just running through everywhere. So it's really intention with the connection to the great and the biggest intention. And that's when you will set the world on fire. Okay, this is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful Notch in Northern Vermont. Have a mindful, very intentional day.